Great.
Okay, recording is started.
All right, thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Call this meeting to order of the Fire Service Membership Council, and welcome everybody for this December meeting. Of course, we'll go ahead and get our guest presentation started. Today we have Randy Conforti from the International Kitchen Exhaust Cleaning Association overview, and I will turn it over to him.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for having me. And as soon as I bring this up, hopefully everything goes well on my end.
A little bit louder, please.
Yeah, Randy, can you turn your volume up, or can you get closer to your mic?
I can do that. How's that?
Oh, that's great.
All right. So, again, I'm with ICA, and this first shot of me is just, you guys can see the screen okay?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm an avid skydiver, and when I was joining ICA, actually getting on their board, ICA's tagline back in the day was cleaning to a higher standard. So I wanted to show them what a higher standard looked like from, 10,000 feet. And I figured I'd just throw the ICC logo in there, and just because it's about ICC and ICA today. I'm a mechanical contractor, been in business for over 32 years, servicing refrigeration, HVAC, hot and cold side, and spent most of my career in commercial kitchens. Started the hood cleaning division back in 2009, became Phil Ackland certified, started the fire suppression division in 2010, became an ICA member in spring of 2012, certified service agent for Gaylord in 16, Halton in 18, a service agent for Accurex in 24, and I hold Captivaris core and tank certifications. My volunteerism within the association started in 2014 with one of the founding members for the Tech and Code review, and that was a preparation for anybody who was going to take our exams. Joined the Technical Standards Development Committee in 2015. I was elected to the board in 2016, chaired the education committee at the same time, and also a member of the certification program. Was elected ICA president in 2020 through 22, and became vice chair of the standards committee in 23, and was just elected this year for another 3-year term. I've gone around the Northeast Ohio presenting to AHJ since 2012 and presenting to the Ohio Fire Code Academy since 17. And in that time, just going around Northeast Ohio, whether it's the Ohio Fire Code Academy, the Northeast Ohio Fire Prevention, State Fire Marshal regions, since 2016. I traveled throughout the country presenting to Association of State Fire Marshals, RFMA, and just national, or I shouldn't say national, but local, state annual meetings the last couple of years. And then I was just elected the ICA Liaison to ICC this year. We'll talk about, introduction to ICA, the ICA certification program, ANSI ICA Technical Standards Development Committee, and establishing a relationship between ICA and ICC. And basically, who is ICA? We started back in 1989, and we're recognized worldwide to exhaust cleaners, insurance risk management professionals, suppliers, AHJs, ANSI accreditation standards, certification programs, and much more. Our mission as a nonprofit organization, and we are definitely committed to life safety and fire prevention. And our vision is to be internationally recognized as an association directly impacting the standards and procedures of commercial exhaust cleaning, inspections, and maintenance. Our 3 certifications are the CT program, which is basically a technician or, a crew leader, a foreman, guys who are out in the field every day. The CS is a specialist that's designated for owners, upper management. If you become an ICA member, in order to be officially an ICA member, you have to hold a specialist certification, and then you have a inspector, and that could be open to anybody who's going to go out and inspect exhaust systems. It's an international credentialing exam. It's administered online now. requires continuing education and 15 hours per year. And we have a Boston specific certification, both for a cleaning specialist and for inspections. And that started back in like 2007 due to firefighters who lost their lives. Some of the jurisdictions that recognize ICA is Boston, as I just mentioned. We have Charleston, South Carolina, Madison, Wisconsin, and Vancouver. Our ANSI standards program was set up in 2009, and that was set up through stakeholders, whether you're an insurance company, so there's an insurance designation, manufacturers, inspectors, fire investigation, exhaust cleaners, fire suppression, HVAC contractors. It all came together because the membership realized that there's really no proper auditing in what we do in the industry. Fire is becoming, continued on the rise throughout the country. Existing codes and standards really didn't provide any guidance on how we do this work or interpret codes. And based on the fire suppression industry, they have minimum standards that provide guidance in their type of work. So the kitchen exhaust cleaner is basically viewed as, a glorified janitor, which is a self-inflicted perception on what we've created. And there's really no direction or best practices to ensure proper cleaning and inspections. And basically, limited policing of the industry led to poor workmanship. And the problem there is that we have a very low barrier to entry, and we need to change that. Here's our first standard that came out was the C10 that was approved in 2011. And the initial name of that standard was just a standard for cleaning. And after its first revision in 2016, it was required to be the methodology for cleaning, which went into our I-10, which is the inspection standard, which was approved in 2015. And then our M10 standard, which is designed for the owner of the facilities. It just lets them know how to protect and operate their facility to protect their patrons, the employees, and the community. And then since NFP 96, back in 17 included cooking appliances, and now it just lets everybody know that the ultimate responsibility lies upon the owner of that system. Some of the things that ICA is currently doing is this past October, a group of us were out by invitation from the state of Connecticut to where we put on a presentation for 8 hours for the state code officials to where, in historic cities are, they're burning buildings down and they realize this and they have to, make a change. So they invited us in and talked about national codes, talked about their state codes and what difference can ICA do in Connecticut. The following day, we were out in Rhode Island talking to legislation on how they can entertain bringing in ICA certifications into the state of Rhode Island. Kansas City just reached out to us in November and said they'd like to do the same thing and implement the ICA certifications within the next 6 months. We're working with Arizona, Mesa, Arizona, and Keene, New Hampshire to do the same. Over the summer, we were in the fire department in New York and helping them with their outline and their guidelines for inspectors and cleaners. And this is just an official letter that said, hey, thanks for the work that we did with them. And this is the group of us who are out in Mohegan Sun in the Connecticut training session. Jim Shea and I, Jim Shea is the chair of our technical standards. This is our first time attending the State Fire Marshals Association. We presented there and then had the opportunity to meet with the president. Next picture is just us out in RFMA for the first time. So ICA's finally getting out in the industry, talking to code officials on what it is that we do. This one picture here to the right to the left with Lloyd. In Alaska, they have the C10 standard, part of their standards, and there was a movement to have it removed. We got with him and stakeholders in the state and kept the C10 written into the standard. And the ongoing conversations that I had with Karen Reardon in Ohio, ICA out in Columbus, Ohio, the Fire Code Academy, and different presenters that we work with. Here's some boots that we do locally. And then I was invited out to West Virginia State Fire Marshal. They've come into Ohio and said, hey, we'd love to have you do this for us. So there are requests for us to talk about ICA standards throughout, and everything that we do for the kitchen exhaust industry in other states. This is stuff that we do locally for the Northeast Ohio Fire Prevention Association. We've got the Canadian president doing his thing throughout Toronto and Montreal, and the current president and past president doing presentations for RFMA. And out in Utah, the state fire marshal there, we attended their annual meeting, and my local AHJs will even come to my shop, depending on the size of their inspector base, and just try to get information on as much that they can learn on, whether it be NFPA 17A or 96, anything with fire suppression or protection and kitchen exhaust hood cleaning. And what we hold paramount is, a life safety service provider code of conduct. Everything we talk about to operators and anybody out in the industry is, prevent hazards in commercial kitchens, know the minimum safety requirements and ensure compliance, become a subject matter expert in your craft. And everything that we do, it's about saving lives. And I just want to end on this quick video. Can't seem to get volume on this. Sorry, there's supposed to be volume, and I don't know if I can get volume here.
Yeah, Randy, you would need to accept to share the audio as well, so we may not have that.
Okay, do you guys want to see it or just end here?
Do you have a reference of where people can find it? Is it on YouTube or?
This was for the city of Boston, to where I mentioned earlier. This was a news broadcast, and somebody shared this clip with me, and basically this is something that we have. I could probably share this, but I don't know where this link came from, but I know it's a local Boston TV station, and the story here is that 10 years later, after the passing of these two fire officials, the problem still exists. And this video is just basically saying how bad these systems remain, and the problem of reporting and inspecting and cleaning just doesn't happen as we need it to be, which pretty much makes us need to get out into the industry that much more to make this industry and our association more mainstream to where we are today. So we could either watch this in silence, or I could end here. We could answer any questions.
I would suggest that go ahead, Larry.
Randy, hey, thanks for presenting. Larry Medina, I spoke with you earlier to coordinate this presentation, so thank you. But so as far as the movement across the country, are you feeling it's more, obviously the work, although it seems like it hasn't just started, I think that would be a misstatement, but as we go, I know you're talking at state levels. Is that the movement, try to get something at state level, like a certification, something ramped up, or states administer a program, or is it something different?
Well, the problem in the industry is that, inspectors really don't know what they're inspecting. Unfortunately, they'll go in and look at the sticker on the hood and say, is it compliant? They'll go to a pull station on the fire suppression system and say, is it compliant? And they basically end there. They don't understand the installation problems, the design problems. So we have an industry problem to where systems go in, but no one knows anything about them, how to inspect them, how to clean them. And the more that we've gone out into the code official world and shared our information, they're like, we had no idea. They're asking for this material because they're like, okay, if somebody is finally talking about the problems that are in the industry and how do you stop, buildings from burning? How do you educate the local guys? How do you get people more involved? So I look at it as, or the group that I'm with, that, on the fire suppression side, there's either, state credentialing, or you have to have, a manufacturer's endorsement. Whereas on the kitchen exhaust cleaning side, there's really no jurisdiction that states you have to do this. It's kind of on the state code side. So we need to get out into the industry and educate inspectors and code officials.
Excellent. Thank you, Randy.
And this is kind of where the video ends.
Yeah, and thanks, Randy. Great presentation. There was a question in the chat. Our Doug Nelson, Fire Marshal in North Dakota, said, do you see any trends currently that the fire service should be aware of? Specifically like fires in certain locations or types of businesses where cleaning is an issue?
Well, it's sometimes it's not only on the cleaning side, whether it's at the hood level or downstream. The problems are, most fires originate at the cooking appliances. So no one's looking at cooking appliances. No one's, educated or aware that fuel loads in the appliances, behind the appliances, let alone up in the ductwork, in the hood canopy, downstream. If the system isn't getting installed correctly or being made accessible, and they're not being advised of that, and we're not getting the kitchen exhaust cleaners to inspect properly, they can't share that information with the code official properly. If that answers the question.
Yeah, I think so. As dealing with many of these many times throughout the years, I agree. There's a whole system that needs to be checked and cleaned, and it starts from where the vapors collect all the way to the end. So again, thank you. Any other comments or questions? I thank you again for a wonderful presentation. Good information as always. And feel free to hang around. And you're welcome back anytime.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. We will continue moving on. And since I forgot to do the roll call before we started, Christine, can we do roll call, please?
Absolutely. Chair Diehl, I have you. Vice Chair Nelson. Well,
Good
actually,
afternoon,
he was in the
everybody.
chat, so he's here. Brian Adams. Brian Adams. Ted Black. Ted Black. Justin Sherwood.
Present.
Darcy Davidson.
I'm here.
Michael Desrochers.
Proud to be here.
William Hyde.
Present.
Ed Kaminsky.
Here.
Brandon Sullivan.
Here.
Kevin LaFave.
Chris Smith, present.
Jonathan Lund is excused. Larry Medina, I heard you. Kelly Nicolello. Kelly Nicolello. John Davin.
Present.
Craig Landau. Craig Landau. Brendan O'Sullivan.
Present.
Michael Long. Michael Long. Chair Diehl, that is roll, and we have a quorum.
Very good. Thank you very much. We'll continue moving on. Again, I want to welcome everybody. This close to the holiday, sometimes it's always tough, but I appreciate everybody on the call. We'll go ahead and move into any additions or corrections to the agenda. They were sent out with the invite. And I'm not seeing any. So also, there we go. So we'll move into the approval of minutes from our November 20th Teams meeting. So I have a motion.
Larry Medina.
Yep.
Second.
There we go. Moved in second, minutes be approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Here we
Aye.
go. I don't think there's any nays. Continue moving on. We will go into our work group updates, and we'll start with our member engagement. And Larry Medina, please, sir.
Yes, good afternoon or good morning, whichever side of the country you're on. The work group, membership engagement work group met last Wednesday. Tasked the work group members to reach out if there's any subject matter experts to present for any future meetings, as well as just putting it out there as looking forward to goals for 2026. And that's all based on aligning our goals with the chair and the rest of the Fire Service Membership Council going forward. And that's end of report.
All right, very good, sir. Moving into emerging issues and trends. Michael Desrochers, sir.
Good day, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to everybody. We held our monthly call on Monday. We had a good turnout. I do want to thank Justice Jones, ICC Liaison, with our group for helping us with the reporting form that is under development, but there's been a lot of progress made. And soon we'll be able to share the group's work with everybody, and we'll have I think what'll be a real nice process for people to submit their emerging issue and trends topics to our work group. So that's going to be exciting. We are having some side conversations right now about possibly bringing in a speaker to the entire Fire Service Membership Council, working with Larry Medina here and Christine and folks to discuss. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but it's called Portable Fusion Nuclear Technology. So whatever that means, it is something that is developing, and I know that the military is active with this. So Matt Hines has linked up with a colleague that is an expert on this subject matter, and we're going to try to coordinate this as a presentation. So more to come on that, maybe through Larry or whatever, but we're working on that. The other subject matter that's come up the past couple calls has been the mega data centers. And there's a lot of information out there on these data centers, but there's certainly, or we feel there's an impact to the fire service. These buildings are typically massive in size, complex, require very high-tech fire protection systems, and in fact, the codes may not be up to what is needed for fire protection in these particular occupancies. So more to come on that, but those are a couple topics that have just come to our group. And again, if you want to be part of our discussions, either let Christine or Tim or myself know, and we would love to add you to our work group. We have some pretty good discussions. But it's been great having ICC Liaison to our work group, which has really helped. So thank you, Christine and Tim and Justin, for helping us out. That's my report.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Again, one of the better groups that we go. Of course, I'm partial because that's where I came from too. But a lot of good information, and we're spreading it out. We'll move. I know Kelly is not on the call. I haven't seen him come back on. But Christine, do you have anything from the public awareness, or does Darcy?
I can speak to it if, I don't think Darcy was at the last meeting, but Darcy,
Okay.
if you wanted to say a few words, I don't want to deny you that.
I'm sorry, I was not at the last meeting.
Okay, so we did meet, the group met. A couple of things that are being worked on. One, we have a defensible space document that is getting finalized through the ICC marketing team. And we've also been looking at how to better our reach in our messaging through social media platforms. So we had a preliminary discussion about options on how to get messaging out through the various media platforms, whether through ICC or through personal messaging on your own accounts. And then if you wanted to tag ICC, and then ICC can review it to see if they can extend it or send it out to their own networks. So there's a little bit more work that needs to be discussed about that, but that is all we have to report at this time.
Okay, another great work group. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the information coming from that group. I know the training and education work group, both, I didn't see Ted come on the call. And I know Chief Lund is unavailable right now. So I didn't know if Sarah had some information from that work group or not that she would like to pass along.
Yeah, I'm happy to give a quick update. The group is moving forward with a quarterly quiz based on the codes. And thank you to Christine for covering the last meeting for me. I was teaching up in the state of Connecticut that day, so really appreciate her jumping in. They also continue to move forward working on a sort of a resource list and resource sharing that we'll be able to use for the benefit of the membership. Things such as online resources or checklists or other materials that we're using that other AHJs are using that they want to share with members in case they're wanting to develop their own stuff. And we're also looking forward into 2026 and going to start developing our goals for then. And there's Ted.
Oh, hey.
Hi,
Hi, Ted. You just missed your report.
I apologize. I had this down at noon, not 11:30. I don't know what I was thinking.
That's quite all right. I'm glad to have you here, sir. I don't know if you have anything you want to add from training. Sarah just gave a wonderful report as usual, so.
I'm sure Sarah did a great job. Thanks.
All right, thank you. That is all our work groups right now. We'll move into reports from officers and liaisons. I did not see our liaison, Board Director Toomey. He did say he had another event that he was attending. And I did not see any other members of the board on the call. And I see nobody raising their hand very quickly to say I'm here. So if anybody from the board of directors does show up, we'll recognize them and let them give an update if possible. Move into my report. Once again, met with the Membership Steering Council leadership, trying to prepare for the January meeting, and going over some items in CP 904, of course, which will be the big item, preparing what will be a review of that policy. Other than that, I attended the Maryland State Fire Marshals group yesterday. And one of the big topics that we're having issues with here in the state is recovery homes, and recovery homes to what are their occupancies? You know, are they want to be classified as single family dwellings, which would not have the sprinkler requirements kick in. The fire marshals, are hesitant about that. So right now, that is our topic of discussion. The state fire marshal is working on trying to come up with a better solution and a statewide document for all the local jurisdictions. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have from my report. I know Vice Chair Doug Nelson had to drop off for another event also. So I will move into report from our ICC staff liaison, and I hear Carl has made it on the call.
Hello, Mr. Chair. Thanks. I'm sorry, I'm taking this from the car, so no, coming from another meeting in DC, so no video today. You're all welcome for that. Just a couple of quick updates. So the ICC Board of Directors met December 5th, and a couple things came out of that. One, the ICC has received a scope and intent question around the ICC 605 wildfire standard. That is being processed by our technical services group. They're working through that, and the board has been notified that there is a letter that's been submitted. They have to take action on that within 30 days. That letter was submitted by Jeff Shapiro relative to potential overlap and conflict between ICC 605, IWIC, and some other various sundry items. So the board will be working through that here, and we'll have a report for you in January as to kind of how that played out. I believe that's going to work itself out sometime the week of the 12th of January. Also, on a more positive note, the board took action on development of a separate committee to be able to hear IWIC proposals in the 2030 cycle. So that is open now as part of the current application process. Christine, if you'd share the code development homepage that's got all the application links on it. If there are folks on the call that have applied to be on code committees for the next year, or to sit on code development committees or anything else, and you have already submitted your application, but you would like to be considered for the IWIC or WUI Code Development Committee. That process is open until April the 1st, I believe. And if you've already submitted an application, you can just send a note to the ICC Code Apps email address. So it's codeapps@iccsafe.org, and just ask staff to be able to add that committee to your profile for your application. You'll also have to indicate preference and priority if you obviously submitted for other committees and already kind of declared your preference on that. You'll just have to kind of say where you are on the preference on being on this WUI Code Development Committee. So lots happening there. Good meeting by the board, and that's all I've got really to offer today, other than my thanks to our fire and disaster mitigation team for a great first year under their belts. Everybody's just come through and had their 1-year anniversaries over the last couple of months, and we've got some great momentum. We're already making plans for all of our travel and representation and the big projects that we're working on, batteries notwithstanding, and energy storage systems. So lots of great things to look forward to in 2026, and that's all thanks to the members and to the members of the board and to our staff leadership for allowing us to be able to do this great work. So that's what I've got. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everybody, and we'll see you in the new year.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And yeah, the staff has been great, and it's hard to believe we've had them for a year, and I am looking forward to next year, continuing all the good forward progress we have made. Well, you all have made. I just ride your coattails. Move into membership council officers and liaisons. The building membership council, I did not see Allison, and Karen was on, but I don't see her on anymore. Nobody's raising their hand. Membership council steering committee, as I said, the next meeting for that group will be January 27th. That will be the first meeting where there will be elections of chairs and vice chairs. Hopefully by then we will know who all the new chairs and vice chairs from the other councils are, and that they'll be moving forward. We will see how everything plays out, but I know the number one topic, or one of the main topics, will be review of CP 904. Global membership, I did not see anybody from Global on the call. I know they just had one last week. So that moves us into emerging leaders, and I did see Lisa on the call.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so emerging leaders met on Monday. We're basically revamping efforts towards membership engagement and new member orientation activities. We also had our ugly sweater event party that night, so that was always it's always interesting. Our meetings are every 2 months, so the next one will be on February 9th, if you're interested in attending that.
All right, thank you very much. And sustainability, Shane, I did see you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our last meeting was mainly focused around electing our new leadership and redeveloping our work groups. That was about the extent of what we got accomplished. And just as another note of promotion, we're looking to grow our membership in the Sustainability Membership Council. So I urge you all to go on the portal there and click to become a member. Thank you.
Yep, thank you for the update. And yes, I would encourage anybody to join the councils. And as a reminder, you can join more than one council. So don't be afraid to go out there and find out what all the other groups are doing and be active with ICC. Any other councils that I did not see? All right, we'll move into ongoing business. I didn't have any ongoing business. Does anybody else have anything? All right, we will move into new business, which is the election of our chair and vice chairs. There was a nomination committee formed from William B.J. Hyde, John Devine, and Kevin LaFair. And I will turn it over to Chief Hyde for their report.
Yes, sir. We all met on December 9th and had a unanimous motion to bring forward the nomination of Timothy Diehl for chair and Douglas Nelson for vice chair. That's the report.
Very good. Thank you, sir. We will move into the elections of chair. So I will hold. Are there any other nominations for chair from the floor? Are there any other nominations of chair from the floor? Are there any other nominations of chair from the floor? Ed.
Mr. Chair, I move that we move you and Doug into your current positions for another year by acclamation.
I have a motion on the floor.
John Davin, I'll second that.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, raise your hand. I'm just trying to, I want to get numbers, so we're good. Here we go. All right. Any opposed? Say nay. Hearing none, motion passes. Once again, I know Doug just had to leave, but on behalf of this group, again, I am honored and thrilled at the same time to continue moving this group forward. I thank you for your support, and we will need it going into the incoming year. And I look forward to working with Carl and his staff to make things even better. Any other new business? All right. The next meeting, as you see, will be January 15th, 2026. And that should be going out later. We'll have hopefully another good presenter ready. So I'll open it up for comments or questions. from the audience? Anything for good of the order? Well, then, what I will say is we'll get ready for a motion for adjournment, but I would like to say, again, thank you to everyone, to include Carl and his staff, for making this past year one of the better ones we've had. Again, looking forward to the new year and moving forward, and wishing everyone a safe and happy holiday, especially those of us who still may be working through the holidays. Make sure you stay safe and take care of everybody. With that, I will look for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Very good. Moved in second. I'm sure it's in said aye. So again, everyone, have a safe holiday, and we will see you in the next year.
Happy holidays, happy new year.